Well, we'll start with the big breaking news. England have released their squads for their upcoming internationals with Switzerland and the Ivory Coast. The big surprise, a first call-up for the Crystal Palace defender Marc Guehi. He has represented England from under-16 to under-21 level. He's been involved throughout those age categories, and now gets his chance with the senior squad. No place, though, in Gareth Southgate's squad for the Manchester United pair of Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. Kyle Walker is out. No recall for Eric Dyer of Tottenham, but Ben White of Arsenal is back. Let's just run you through the squad in full. The three goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale. The defenders, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, Marc Guehi, Reece James, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones and Ben White. The midfielders, Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Declan Rice and James Ward-Prowse. And the forwards, Tammy Abraham, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe and Raheem Sterling. So just to confirm, Marc Guehi is part of this England squad for the upcoming internationals against Switzerland and the Ivory Coast. First call-up for him, having been involved in the youth categories, of course playing his football at Crystal Palace this season. However, no Marcus Rashford, no Jadon Sancho, no Kyle Walker, no Eric Dyer. Let's hear now from the England manager, Gareth Southgate. Here he is speaking to the media.
It's news, after which we'll open up to those joining us on Zoom. So, Rob, when you're ready.
Gareth, good to see you. I've got to ask you about Marc Guehi first. It's a really big day for him. The under-21s have two competitive qualifiers, so a big decision from you to take their captain and bring him into the senior squad for two friendlies. So what's you thinking?
Well, we're preparing for a World Cup, so we're always supportive of what the under-21s are doing, but the priority has to be the first team, always. With Marc, he's had a really consistent season. Been very impressed with on and off the ball. In the biggest games, he's been very calm. We know a lot about him through our development teams as well. He's Junior World Cup winner. So there are some centre halves that are pushing, and we're very close. But we've added Marc and Ben White this time, and we think it's a good opportunity to see two slightly younger players and see how they cope with being with us.
That would suggest that you see Marc Guehi potentially, depending on how he develops over the rest of this season, in your squad for the World Cup potentially.
Well, we're a long way from that.
But if you didn't think it was possible, you wouldn't have called him up now, is what you're saying?
No, absolutely. I think anybody that's in and around the squad now, of course, is in contention for that. But that doesn't mean that players that aren't in this squad can't also be in contention for that. So this is a good opportunity for us to work more closely with Marc and for him to get a feel of life with the seniors.
I've got to ask you about Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, who aren't in your list. If we can deal with them each in turn, because I think Jadon Sancho's omission will surprise people the most. It feels as though he's been in pretty good form for Manchester United recently. I think 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 or 6 Premier League games. So, Jadon Sancho, why not? Because
with the other attacking players in the squad are slightly ahead of him at the moment in our feeling. You can see the names there: Phil Foden, Raheem Sterling, Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe. If you look at the seasons they've had, Jack Grealish, Jadon, without a doubt, over the last few weeks, his performances have improved with Manchester United. But it's an area of the field where we've got really big competition for places, and at the moment we've got those guys slightly ahead.
Marcus Rashford, has he got to do a lot to prove to you over the next 8 months if he's going to make that World Cup squad?
Well, he's in the same position as everybody else. You know, they've all, whether they're in the squad or they're not in the squad, they've all got to play well over the next period of towards the end of this season, and in particular the beginning of next season. So it's a difficult time for him. He's clearly not at his best. But there's plenty of time. We know a lot about Marcus anyway. We know what he can bring to us, and hopefully he can rediscover that form that we know he's capable of.
But no Kyle Walker. That surprised us a little bit, and you've included Reece James as one of your right-back options. So have you been given assurances that Reece is fit and going to be available for some of these games, and why not Kyle?
Yeah, well, with Kyle, we I had a long chat with him. We felt this is an opportunity to look at the two younger fullbacks. We know all there is to know about Kyle. He'll be back with us for the games in June. We're very happy with what he's done. He's a very important part of the progress we've made as a team, and you can see in the biggest matches with Manchester City this year, he's still been such a key player for them. So, but these young fullbacks are exciting. We need to give them their opportunities as well. There is a little bit of a doubt over a couple, so we've got big games still to get through across the weekend. This squad could change a little bit, but as we stand, we thought it was a good opportunity for Trent and for Reece.
Gareth, I want to ask you about Qatar. Look, you've been asked repeatedly about it for understandable reasons. It's a really important issue, but you've said that it's going to be this camp where you address it and try and educate yourself and the staff and the players before you come up with some sort of unified response. Can you give us a bit more of an idea of how that's going to work? Are you going to have people talk to you and the players, give presentations? What sort of thing are you planning?
Well, we've certainly within the FA we've done a lot of research. And that's going to be ongoing because, of course, the world is changing all the time and situations in every country are changing all the time. So we think it's important to prepare the players in the best possible way, their full understanding of what's going on. From a personal position, there are clearly human rights issues that are of concern. A lot of those issues, I don't think you should be sitting waiting for a statement that's going to cover everything. I think it's too complex for one statement to cover all the issues. The basis of it would be that I don't think we'll be talking to the players about anything that isn't fundamentally what we stand for anyway. We want a game that's inclusive. It's not a good situation that we've got certain parts of our fan base who might feel uncomfortable travelling to the World Cup. There have obviously been issues with the buildings of the stadium. We can't affect that now. There are ongoing concerns about workers' rights. So I think it's important that we give the players that background, that understanding, because when we talk about human rights, it's a very broad subject. And of course, when I was being asked those questions before Christmas, it was hard to get a real full understanding of exactly what are these issues. So I'm clearer now. I feel I can articulate that better to the players. We might get some other people within the FA to help with that, but we'll see the best way of approaching that next week.
Thank you. And look, last one from me. Marc Guehi, his call-up is a case in point of just how important Chelsea and Chelsea's academy has been to England at all levels. The women's game, the men's game, the junior game as well. That Chelsea academy has been a very fruitful source of real talent for you for a long time now. With what's happening at Chelsea, how much does that worry you?
Well, I don't know what the implications of what's going on will be for the academy, but to talk about the academy, it has been a brilliantly run operation. Neil Bath, Jim Fraser there have, without doubt, not only the way that they've educated the players, the opportunities, the way they've seen them through their loan spells. So, Conor Gallagher is another one in this squad. They've done an exceptional job. They've had success at youth level, and they're now starting to see a group of players come into their own first team, which has been really important for them. So, I couldn't speak highly enough of. We've got a number of good academies, but they are right up there without a doubt.
Does it worry you with what's happening at Chelsea that might be damaged for a source for England going forward?
I've no idea what the implications will be of the sanctions that are in place in terms of how that might affect the academy, really.